no buts, no education cuts, no ifs, no buts, no education cuts, no ifs, no buts.
My name's Roddy. I've lived in Tower Hamlets for 3 years. I emigrated here from Scotland some time ago, and I really think that Tower Hamlets is a fabulous place to live, and it's somewhere that I think we have to defend. There's a lot of culture that's been fought for a long time by working people in this area, and I think that that's what's under attack here really, because the education that's been achieved in this borough is something that has taken account of the very rich diversity of the many different cultures and people that live here. And I think that what's under attack really here is the idea of education as a right for working people, rather than as a privilege that only just a few very rich people are going to be able to afford. And if these cuts go through, it's not going to be rich people who have problems getting access to English lessons. It's going to be the poor people in this borough. And this borough is one of the poorest in the whole of Britain. And therefore, if these attacks take place, then there's a real danger that we can start to see the return of some of the racist and fascist forces which have been trying to grow here in the past, in the 1930s and in 1992. We're just down the road, we had a fascist councillor elected. We have just up the road now the BNP embarking in Dagenham Council, and I think it's incredibly important that all people who want to defend education as a right understand the consequences of these cuts going through if the community does not unite and defends all the best traditions that have been fought for over the many decades that Tower Hamlets has become what it is today.
Cool. And with these cuts, there's going to be quite a number, dozens of teaching jobs that will be leaving the community, and probably affect one of the most vulnerable communities in the country, because it's quite a deprived area as well.
It's also an area where there's a very large Muslim population. And one of the things that's happened in recent years is a very marked increase in Islamophobia in the media, partly as a consequence of the war in Iraq and an attempt for the press and the media and the government to divide the many thousands of people that have united together on the basis of opposition to money for war instead of for education and for the things that we need. And I think that therefore the consequences, if we're not able to stop these cuts happening in Tower Hamlets College, at London Metropolitan University, as education is going to be something that many working people are not going to get access to in all its different forms. And it's not just about ESOL courses either. Although I think that if ESOL courses are axed, then how are people going to get jobs in this community? How are people going to get the skills that they need in order to be able to have an equal chance and a level playing field in terms of getting access to education?
Do you think it'll also adversely affect people from non-English speaking backgrounds' access to the job market?
Well, I think that that's the problem, because I mean it is a condition of getting access to British citizenship now that you take ESOL lessons and you pass an exam. If you can't get access to ESOL lessons, how are you going to get access to British citizenship? Now that, first of all, is the very opposite of the rhetoric that the government is putting forward about the responsibility of citizens to take these things and to get access and integration, as they call it, into the community. But what kind of community are you getting integration into if it's one where racism is built into the situation from the outset, from the institutions not being able to provide equal access to education, even though people want these things?
What do you think about the cuts to Tower Hamlets, which is a very poor borough, in line with the 1.5 trillion bankers bailout? What do you think about that?
Well, the terrible irony is that we have had our money stolen from us to feed the bankers, and the bankers now want to take more of our money by taking resources away from preciously needed education resources. The terrible thing that a lot of people don't know about Tower Hamlets Board of Governors is that 5 of them are bankers. Now, that seems to me, when you have this terrible edifice staring down at us, at a time where we are scrabbling about to get money for education, that these people are rolling in money, absolutely rolling in money. And yet we've got bankers on the Board of Governors here who know nothing about education, who know nothing about this community, who are making decisions on behalf of this community which are about taking away preciously needed resources.
So 5 rich bankers who had their jobs propped up by the UK taxpayer
precisely
have drawn the sword on people teaching ESOL courses and told them they can't have a job.
That's right, and that's why I think it's very important that we make them hear us on Tuesday at the Governors' meeting. The Governors are going to be meeting at 5 o'clock next Tuesday, and I hope that everybody across this community who realises what's at stake comes and lets the Governors know what they think of them.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
We are taking industrial action against the proposed job cuts at Tower Hamlets College. All on a sudden, 5th of June, we are given a piece of paper saying that there are some jobs are in stake. And we appreciate consultation in the meaning of consultation, but when we put forward some alternative proposal, college management did not take on board any of our suggestions.
How many jobs are being lost here?
According to the proposal, is 40.6 full-time equivalent. It could be 60 people, around 60 people we are talking
So
about.
it could be close to 60 job losses in Great Britain's third most deprived borough.
Yes, that's the proposal, according to the proposal. And I think it is unacceptable because most of the jobs cuts are absolutely in the places where it is necessary to deliver quality education for the community where it's needed most.
And what do you think about the government cutting teaching jobs in a very deprived area when they gave 1.5 trillion to the banks?
Well, it's not quite like that. You see, the college budget is for 3 years, but I'm sure the college knew what's coming up. They should have put a united front so that we can make our case to the relevant authorities, Learning and Skills Council, and fight for them. In the past, we had similar situation. Then the college management and staff, students, we fought together to resolve the issue. But this time, college management is taking a completely different view.
Okay.
They are dividing us, as if it is us and them.
There's only one CPD. One CPD. One CPD. One CPD. One CPD. There's only one CPD. There's only one.
Okay, I'm Usha. I'm Angela. And we're both ESOL teachers, English teachers.
Yeah.
And we've marched we work at Arbour Square. This is Poplar here.
Yeah.
We work at Arbour Square, so all of Arbour walks out today at 11 o'clock, all the staff and many of the students. And we've marched to Poplar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I understand it, your jobs are at risk at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you could possibly lose your job. 40 jobs are going.
Yeah. The whole of the college is in jeopardy at the moment. There's cuts affecting everybody, but it's true
Not
that
just
ESOL,
Yeah, admin staff, all over really.
And how do you think the loss of 40 jobs and 40 ESOL teachers is going to affect the Tower Hamlets community?
Well, it's going to affect this community hugely. I mean, I think this community is very deprived, you know, in terms of, well, sort of the rest of London, and you know, there's two sort of Somali and Bengali communities. There's probably two communities who really do desperately need education, and
who want it as well. It's not like they don't want it. We've created the demand in this area. But I was talking with somebody the other day who was talking about the fact that ESOL was sort of born in Tower Hamlets, and we've built up this power base of expertise, and it's all going to be lost. And so there is a demand that people in the community want to come, they want to learn English, and there's always long waiting lists, and we can't get enough classes for them, and so it doesn't make any sense that the college is going to cut our provision by 50%.
And so essentially ESOL classes are giving immigrant communities access to the workforce by learning English.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And what the government is proposing is that they're only going to count the targets for the higher levels, so the level 1s, the level 2s, but what nobody seems to address is how somebody gets to level 1 in the first place.
Yes.
You know, to learn another language is a difficult thing, and you have to start somewhere, and many people come here not being able to speak a word of English, and so they need to start from the beginner levels, and they will move up. Many of them move up through our classes, and it's wonderful to see students that you've taught at the beginners level being at level 1 and passing their exams and moving on to get jobs and to do further education, such as doing access courses and going to university.
And how do you feel about potentially losing your job when the bankers were so readily bailed out by the government? How do you feel about that?
We're in the wrong profession, obviously.
They seem to have done a bad job. and got 1.5 trillion.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But I'm not surprised, which is a bit sad, isn't it? That
I think it just shows, I don't know, I just feel that we're being treated with contempt, actually, and it's just a total lack of respect, you know, for what we've been doing. And I think that's the thing that really is, you know, which makes us so angry. You know.
Will you be voting for Gordon Brown in the next election?
I don't know who to vote for.
I don't think so.
Thank you for speaking to Unison TV. Cheers.
Majority of the population is not, you know, indigenous to the UK. I mean, they need to speak English.